Enter a world of enchantment, of enlightenment, Meg's magical mansion.
Come, whoever you are, to Meg's Magical Mansion, a virtual guest house for spiritual wayfarers, a place where the ordinary becomes magical, where wisdom is yours for the asking, where your higher nature is just a wish away. Thanks for joining us here today at the mansion. I'm Meg, and this is my trusty butler, Scallion. And of course, here in my lap is my fluffy and beautiful and cuddly assistant, Miss Alice Pooper. Thank you, Scallion. And we're so glad you've joined us today, because today we're featuring part 2 of our interview with Terri Rohde and Tracy Watts, the lead investigators from Explorers of Spirit Phenomena. And let's take a peek at what we talked about last week.
She hooked me.
I did.
With a picture of a ghost cat. I woke up in the middle of the night and there was a woman standing at my room just looking at me, and I was frightened.
We had our phones which didn't work, which was awesome.
Yeah. Especially when the big heavy door slammed right behind Terri.
On the 3rd floor.
Yes, yeah. And we were going to open that door because
Yes.
I had to know.
Right.
Was it paranormal
Right.
or was there a person?
Right.
And now let's dive into the rest of our conversation with Terri and Tracy from ESP, Explorers of Spirit Phenomena. What is the funniest experience you've ever had?
And you know, we have fun. Like when we investigate,
gosh, yes.
if you go on our Facebook and like Google, because you can come up, you can pull up the videos and stuff like that, and you will see that we enjoy the heck out of what we do. So we laugh a lot. We find that does bring spirit. So, but there are several funny experiences, but there's one in particular that sticks out to me because it also was an unexpected place where we got activity right from the get-go that we were not expecting to happen, so we weren't really prepared for that. We had rented an Airbnb.
Yeah, and it also turned out to be one of the scariest.
Oh, it
At
did.
a couple different
It did.
points, we were like terrified, and
Yeah.
just because we weren't sure whether we were dealing with spirit.
Or a crazy human,
Yeah, so
which happens.
yeah, but it started out.
It started out quite interesting. So we rented this Airbnb in Kentucky, and it was a row house, and we were really excited about it because it was historic, and we always like to rent historic houses because you never know. You never know. And so I'm not saying we weren't open to it. It just kind of hit us upside the head a little. It was a little exciting, crazy. And
Well, we were
yeah.
We
were going to go to one of the most haunted places in the United States, Waverly Hills.
And did that turn out to be very haunted?
We had some experiences.
We had some experiences,
But
but
this Airbnb was better.
Oh my God! Yeah, this Airbnb made that look like child's play.
Well, this takes care of my question about what was the most unexpected place you ever investigated.
So the minute we walk in, and there were 4 of us there, right?
Well, it was just you and I at first.
At first.
And they came later.
Right,
The other two.
and then the other couple came later, and but
and
I will
Marie.
never forget when Earl and I had the suitcases in our hands, and we
I was
were
laying down in
Yes.
that room. I was exhausted.
Yes. And Earl and I are like, we're like little Energizer bunnies sometimes. So we're like, yeah, let's go. So we're like, let's drag the suitcases upstairs, put them in our rooms. And as we start to go up the stairs, now, yes, we had suitcases. Yes, there were stairs. Yes, there would have been vibration and bumping, but no. It was barely anything. And all of a sudden, as we're going up the stairs, there were these pictures on the wall, and they were in a nice kind of almost a stairway fashion. So you had like a higher, and then next, and then the next, and then the next. Okay, so they all start to fall down. I don't just mean one, like 4 of them. And not only did they fall, They landed on one step and they stacked themselves on top of each other.
Yes.
And Earl and I just like stopped and we're like,
Okay.
okie dokie then. Yeah. So that's when we thought, okay, so we may be in for something this weekend. But right before we came, I had watched a movie on Netflix. And I can't remember the name of it. And you knew the movie because you had seen it too. And it was that movie where the guy, and there's famous people in it. You've probably seen it. The guy lives in a house, his wife dies. He decides to sell the house. He sells it to this young couple, but he never actually leaves.
He lives in
And he lives down like in the basement.
in these secret passageways.
Yeah, and he like haunts them,
Yeah.
and he decides he wants the wife and he wants to out the husband. So I had literally just watched this. So it's in my brain, and all of a sudden, like, weird things start to happen.
We were in
And
the
you're
kitchen.
pretty sure there's a guy down in the
Oh no, it gets better than that.
Oh, my
We're
God.
in the kitchen,
We're
and
in
I
the kitchen.
look. There's a few doors that are locked,
That you can't open.
and one is just like a pantry, and we're like, why can't we open?
you open the pantry?
And I look down, and there's like blood,
like deep red
crimson blood
and we're like,
coming
oh my God,
underneath,
coming
the
from
door.
underneath the door.
liquid,
Like,
Yes.
yes.
like just
Like,
oozing
like
out.
yeah.
it's just right there. And so, like, you
And
know,
we're
we're
like-
thinking animal, something got
died,
killed.
yeah, a rat,
know,
and we're like,
rat.
oh my God,
We've had
There's a
rats.
side of beef in
Right.
there.
We've had rats before,
Yeah,
but so
bats too.
bats. We've had bats. So we're like, and so we all decide like this is like worthy of us maybe breaking a
into
rule.
the little
So, yeah.
pantry.
So we feel like we need to see what's inside that pantry because now we're a little bit scared for our safety. Like, cause yeah.
Yeah, because there's other
Because
doors
there could
we
be
can't.
an actual crazy person
Yes.
living there.
Yeah.
There's doors we can't
If
open.
it's a
doors we
spirit,
can't get
that's
into.
different.
We're fine with that. Not
You're
with
used
crazy
to that.
people. Right, not with crazy people that
Yeah.
want to hurt us. No. So Earl helps us to gain access, let's
To
say,
the door.
to the door. And so guess what it was?
Brand new cherry flavor. There's a Netflix series. It was a cherry.
It was a Bing cherry.
Oh, what?
That's what.
and we were laughing
Oh
ourselves
my
to
gosh.
So the next day we go to Waverly Hills. It's
Right.
an all-night investigation. We come home at 7, 8, 9 in the morning, whatever.
Yeah.
We're all getting ready to go to bed,
Yeah.
and Earl is in the shower.
And just
we
the three of us
hear-
chicks. Three
We
chicks.
hear the door slam shut.
Well, and because that particular door had 3 locks on it.
Yes, and it was
3
like,
locks. So you had to go click, 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 click. You know, I mean, it was a big process, okay?
and we all looked at each other.
We heard the whole thing.
and we're like, Earl's in the shower. We're
Yeah.
all here.
So we have to,
Who's
like,
Who just closed
downstairs?
and locked that door?
Okay,
And
because
then we're
we've
like,
already been
yeah.
joking the night before.
That
We had
it
to
was-
have this black mass show up in the hallway.
It was
that
scary.
scared us
Mm.
because we were all the 3
Yeah,
of us
we're
girls
like-
were all like,
We're like,
oh.
hello. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
so we are now.
So now we feel like we have to take care of whatever this is, whoever this is, like what's happened.
I have the phone. I'm recording.
She's gonna record.
What did you grab?
I believe I had the iron.
The iron. And I think
Marie might have had, like, the
bottle. She had
The
a
bottle, or yeah. So
A bottle
we're
of
gonna
something.
we're
We're
gonna,
ready to take someone out.
we are taking somebody out.
Searched the
We are.
entire house, and then
And the whole time, by the way, Earl is still in the shower.
In the shower, he doesn't even know what's going on.
and
the door
is
was still locked.
completely.
So where, and we heard each one of those clicks, and it's a very
We heard a
distinct.
slam too, and
Yeah.
and the thing that freaked us all out is that basically when you were in the back part of the house, you really couldn't
No.
hear what was
No.
going on in the front, and because the back part.
It's just
then
such a
took you
row
upstairs.
house. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're long and narrow.
Yes.
So I had planned, because it got really hot during the day,
Yeah.
to sleep on an air mattress in the living room.
Because it
And
was.
I was
cool.
like, I'm not sleeping out here by myself during the day. So, we all slept upstairs in the heat. And then when we got up, we started going, okay, what is going on here? And then it hit us. Where I'm like, Terri, there's a curtain. We shared a room and they
Yeah.
shared a room. there was a curtain behind her bed.
Which is kind of weird on like a curtain rod.
Yeah, and I'm like, what is behind this curtain? I look, and then found a door.
It's a door.
There's a door behind her bed.
Right.
With a room, a hidden
So we
room.
moved the bed. And it's like a little attic-y room.
Yeah.
Like maybe
Now
for
we're
storage.
totally.
But now.
Was there any
Convinced.
sign that anyone had been in that room?
No,
I mean, not really.
Like no, fast food wrappers. And,
No, but now we're totally convinced that there are secret passageways.
Right.
And somebody's
hiding. And maybe he never leaves, and maybe he just rents the Airbnb and then he hides.
much
Yes.
like the movie you saw.
Right.
Yes.
So how did it ever end up?
Well, we started searching every part of that house. We searched some of the rooms. We found ways in and out of some of these locked up little areas. And then we found, what did we find?
Well, okay. So
death certificates.
Yeah, when they had taken over this home,
Yeah.
I don't know if they thought it would be more period-ish, if they just kind of left everything as it was, or if they just didn't bother cleaning it out. I really don't know which was the case, but we're opening drawers and we found marriage certificates, death certificates,
Family
albums
How old?
with pictures.
How old?
From the early 1900s,
Wow.
And the thing was we started doing our research. The
And
last day we were there,
yeah.
we went to the cemetery.
to find the family, specifically the woman,
Yeah.
because we knew she was buried there,
Her name was also
Marie, which is also why we felt, or where we thought possibly, with that connection, maybe that was some of the reason for some of the activity, plus Marie was there with her husband, and she lived there with her husband, and they might have had a little bit of a, I don't know, let's just say they had some rifts and roughness.
rough relationship, and it just got crazier and crazier. We drove through this huge cemetery, and we had an obelisk. Night before,
We also had the Find My Grave thing, like we were going to try to find her grave.
and I
right?
could not.
No.
I was searching and searching and searching, and we were giving up after, I don't know, half hour driving.
This
through.
place was huge. Like it took up two sides of the street, and it took up like a mile. I mean, it was like big, humongous cemetery.
And we had finally gotten to a point where I'm like, I cannot find it. I cannot find this woman's name. Nothing. And Earl comes to a stop sign.
no, what it was
slowing down.
I said, let's just go. Like, let's just go. Because we were going to be there forever.
Yeah.
And as he started to go, something said to me,
Well,
that
there was
little
a
voice.
stop
Yeah.
sign
But
somewhere.
somebody said, like, to look to my left.
Oh, your intuition?
Yeah.
Would that be it?
Yeah, maybe my intuition, or it can. And so literally, I looked to the left,
And she goes,
and I go,
She's right there.
She's right there.
there it is.
And at the same time,
Obelisk says,
Arrived.
yep.
yeah,
And we were like, oh my God,
Right.
what are the chances?
Right.
We were leaving. And the craziest thing is that obelisk, the night
Oh my
before
God.
when we had
and
been
we went to Waverly.
in Waverly, we didn't have a whole lot of activity,
No.
but we went down to like the
The
death
chute, like they tell us about
Yeah,
the death
death
chute.
tunnel.
It's supposed to be like the scariest, most haunted place.
and
And it was wet. Like
Yes.
when it rained there a lot, like the water.
and we didn't want to trip or
slip and fall.
slide.
'Cause we have a habit of hurting ourselves.
So Terry was like, "Where's my flashlight?
yeah,
I can't
I
find
said,
my
I
flashlight."
need a light. I need a light.
And the
Obelisk
obelisk said,
Above.
And I did this in pitch blackness, understand?
"Yeah."
I go like this, and there's a string. So I have to pull it.
Yeah.
So I pull it, and all these fluorescent lights come on
my
in the
God.
entire tunnel.
Yeah, and light the whole tunnel
They light the
up.
whole tunnel up. I'm like, thank you.
So now we can go down the tunnel, but then
Except we got in trouble.
and then
No, the
sort of the people that
the docent, the
Docent,
guy,
yeah,
the person
that
who
runs-
is there, like why?
like you're in the scariest part and blah blah blah, and you turn the light
Why
on.
would you turn the lights on?
And we're like,
That's
told
what
us
I
to.
do.
Spirit said above,
Right.
and we were like, why would we stumble in the dark and potentially
Right.
break an ankle?
Because there's no reason to ghost hunt in the dark.
Thank
Just
you.
so you know that.
They
There's
don't
no
care.
They don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
reason. They don't care. They do it on TV because it makes it look scarier. But there's no reason. I mean, unless you happen to be in a place where there is no light, there
Then you
is no
have no
power.
choice.
Right. But if you can have lights on, oh honey, turn them on.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
If you could meet any one person who has crossed over to spirit, who would that person be?
Well, for me, it's very personal. I would want to meet my dad because he died when I was 8. And I always felt that kind of he was maybe the precursor of me being so interested in the spirit world. Because I wanted to know like if he was okay and where he went and would he watch over me, all those things. So yeah, my dad.
Tracy?
I have no clue.
You've already met so many interesting ghosts.
Well, it's
what-
not that. I mean, it wouldn't be somebody that maybe I haven't met before.
I mean, but like what about if you could talk to your grandma again, now that we know about like
Okay, so
Okay.
that grandma was never very nice to be.
I know you
with.
called her bad bitch.
See, no, I would like to meet
So-
my grandma from my mom's side because
Yeah.
I never knew her.
You
She
know-
died way before I was
Yeah.
born. But
Yeah.
I've been told so many times in my life
Yeah.
how much like her I
Yeah.
am
Mm-hmm.
that I would
Yeah.
love to meet her.
Yeah.
So you are going to be appearing in the True Ghost Stories this season. You have an episode
Yes.
coming up. Tell us a little bit about what that experience has been like and what we can look forward to with True Ghost Stories.
So wow, I was trying to like timeline it the other day. It's been at least 6 years that we've been a part of True Ghost Stories. So yeah, things take a while. So about 6 years ago, we were approached when they were first starting. It was an idea. Their first idea was that there was going to be a team from every state and 12 teams. Well, no, they started with 12 teams, but there was going to be a team from every state, and then they were going to do some international teams, and they were going to start with like a handful, like 12, and then they were going to move up. And we were approached about being Team Florida. Super exciting. We were like, yes, please. Since those years, a lot of things have happened. I mean, we've gone through, I don't even know how, several directors, several producers. I mean, always the same executive producer. But Sherry Emily, she's been our executive producer since day one, but we've had
It's her
other-
brainchild.
It's her. She like totally came up with this idea, which in the paranormal is a big deal because people in the paranormal sometimes are not warm and fuzzy, and sometimes they're very drama filled. And so if you tell somebody in the paranormal like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this really cool show, the next thing you know, that show will be on and somebody else will be doing it, because that's kind of how things work all the time. So
But these are real teams
Yeah.
doing their own investigations, their own filming, their
Yes.
own editing, their own.
no camera crews, no
Yeah, it's
nothing.
So when
us,
you're watching
real
True
raw.
Ghost Stories, it's pretty real and it's
It's
Oh
real.
yeah,
pretty
it
raw.
is.
It's
what
raw.
you see.
Unscripted,
Yeah.
totally. We don't, whatever we say is what we say, and
And
if
where
we have to
can
believe
people
it.
watch True Ghost Stories?
So it's on a streaming service. So you would go to facet.tv, and there's several shows on the service. It's not just us, but if you Google it, it'll come up. And
We're the only ghost hunting.
Yeah,
show.
we're the only ghost hunting show on it, and I think they're on episode 7 for the season right now. We're episode 11. Believe me, it'll be out all over our Facebook when it's finally our turn,
Yes.
because we've been waiting a lot of years for it to be our turn.
So tell everyone how they can keep up with you on your social media. Where can they find the Explorers of Spirit Phenomena?
Well, the most active spot would be our Facebook page because we are on that a lot. Like we try to keep that pretty current. Anytime we go places, we post. But also we have a website, which is www.espexplorers.com. Very easy. And my personal Facebook page is I'm out there. I don't keep it a secret where to find me. It's Terri Rohde, and it's spelled Rohde. And
we'll
through
put
that,
this all up so everyone can see how to spell it.
Through that, you can get to everything else too, because I have links to everything else. We do have an Instagram and a Twitter. We don't use those a lot, so I wouldn't recommend.
A YouTube that I
Yes,
have
we
some
do.
videos. The ghost cat video is linked through our webpage.
And I think we have the actual Fox News report on that too, don't we?
The Fox News and the original video. I just made sure that they were up and running.
Yeah.
Last week I was going through and I added some more EVPs.
Yay!
Because we do have a tendency to get some great EVPs.
They're our favorite thing. So for
Tell
people
our
that
audience
don't,
what an EVP is.
EVP, electronic voice phenomena. So anytime that you're somewhere, which is why small teams are good. So if it's Tracy and I, we pretty much know what we sound like, okay?
Yeah.
And if we're the only people in a building and we hear another voice that isn't ours, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And we love that.
And when we can actually hear exactly what they're saying.
Like
clearly.
intelligently, yeah.
And when they respond in an intelligent manner, like above,
Yes.
like
Like
there's
when we were,
string.
yes. St. Albans, we got a little girl saying, we were taking a tour. Where are we going?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. On Long Island at Katie's Bar, playing cards. It was a room that used to be used for poker. So we're throwing cards and we're asking questions like, can you tell us the suit? Can you tell us the number? Can you tell us the color? And clearly we get red.
This was after she fell down the stairs and of course
fractured
taking
my hip,
pictures.
yeah.
But we didn't know that till 6 months later.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I
we don't
go to
stop.
doctors. We don't stop for that stuff.
Yeah, we just
Because you
don't.
have a spirit doctor
That's
with
right.
you who's supposed
Exactly.
to diagnosing
At
you.
that time,
he was
he
real.
a real person.
Oh, you had a real doctor who
Yeah,
should be
he was
diagnosing
like-
you
And he
with yourself.
wasn't with us.
He
So
wasn't.
He didn't come to Long Island with us.
No, he left us. He left us.
Oh,
on
He left us in
on your own.
Pennsylvania that year, I think.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
As soon as he left, I sprained my ankle.
I fractured my hip.
We
We
both
both got bronchitis.
Yes.
And, yeah,
Because
but we
neither
kept
of you
going
have
on.
asthma, so.
No.
No, we didn't. No,
No.
we don't.
So, what's coming up next for ESP?
So all we can say, because we can't let any cats out of any bags.
Not yet.
Not yet. But all we can say is pay very close attention to our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Because before the month ends, I will say before the month ends, we are going to be on a very exciting adventure that has actually been a part of our bucket list for the entire years that we have been involved in ghost hunting. And we just keep not wanting to jinx anything, but this has been someday for so long, and it looks like it's just coming to fruition because that's how things happen to us. People and things are put into our paths, and
You're both very excellent at manifesting,
Yeah.
and that's why
Yes.
things come to
Yeah.
you. So pay attention to the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Some things are coming up. They don't want to say too much.
Some exciting stuff for the upcoming holiday.
I can tell you
Yes.
their live feeds on Facebook are always a lot of fun, and you definitely want to jump on them.
Yeah.
So we want to thank Terri and Tracy for coming out
you for
today.
having us.
We're gonna take a
I
round of
love your
applause for that.
mansion.
Yeah,
So
your
thank
mansion.
you for
It's
coming
so
out to the mansion,
gorgeous.
and we do have some ghosts that hang around, and I see they've behaved themselves and not shown up today. So, although there's something very familiar about you.
I don't know what it is.
I can't put my
People
finger
say that
on
all
it.
the time. I look like
I
someone.
know.
I don't
But we want to thank Terri and Tracy for coming out, explorers of spirit phenomena. Follow them on Facebook.
Definitely.
Definitely want to check them out on the True Ghost Stories coming up on Facet TV. So we are very happy that they came by and dropped by the mansion today to share some of their experiences about ghost hunting. Please remember that as Samhain is approaching at the end of the month, the veil is growing very, very thin. This is the time of year. One of the reasons this is a great time to have them come and join us is because this is the time of year where you may experience phenomenon. Spirit will definitely be trying to cross over as we get closer and closer to the end of the month. So be aware, as Biawari told you, have your ears and eyes open and be aware of what's going on. And
Pay attention to the signs.
You might pick up on some interesting signs because Spirit is all around you all the time.
All the time.
Thank you for joining us today. That was so fun. Those were certainly some spooky and scary stories from Terri and Tracy at Explorers of Spirit Phenomenon. And I want to thank them once again for stopping by the mansion to tell us those terrifying yet true tales of their ghost hunting adventures. If you didn't get a chance to check out part 1 last week, please go back and take a look for some more true yet scary ghost stories. And make sure you follow those ladies on their social media platforms because they are always up to something and you never know what it will be. Please remember, in the words of Buddha, thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. Thank you again for joining us here today at Meg's Magical Mansion. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, ring the bell so we can let you know about future episodes. Check us out on Instagram. And we'll see you next week as we get ready for more spooky fun here at Meg's Magical Mansion.